aita for telling my extended family how many men, roughly, my sister has slept with after she outed our youngest brother as a virgin. Hey Reddit, I need some outside perspective because my family is blowing up over this, and I'm starting to second-guess myself. I don't think I did anything wrong, but everyone's acting like I'm the bad guy, so here I am. This is a long one, so bear with me. There's a lot of context to unpack. For starters, I'm 27M, one of 4 kids in my family. There's my older sister, Claire, 29F, my younger sister, Mia, 24F, and our youngest brother, Ethan, 22M. We're a pretty tight-knit family, or at least we used to be, but we've always had our share of drama, especially when the extended family gets together. My parents are big on hosting these huge family dinners a few times a year. Thanksgiving, Christmas, random summer BBQs, you name it. It's always a mix of our immediate family, aunts, uncles, cousins, and whoever's dating or married to someone in the family at the time. These events are usually fun, but can get chaotic, especially when alcohol's involved. And yeah, alcohol plays a role in this story. So, this all went down at a family dinner last weekend. It was one of those big gatherings at my parents' house with like 20 people crammed around their dining room table and spillover folding tables in the living room. The vibe was loud, think clinking glasses, overlapping conversations, and my Uncle Dave telling the same fishing story he's been milking for a decade. Claire was there with her husband, Ryan, 30M, who she's been married to for about 2 years. Mia brought her new boyfriend, Jake, who seemed nice but was mostly quiet, probably overwhelmed by our family's energy. Ethan was there solo, which isn't unusual for him. I showed up with my girlfriend, Sarah, who's been to a few of these dinners and knows how rowdy they can get. A bit about my siblings to set the stage. Claire's always been the loud, confident one. She's super smart, went to a good college, and has a high-powered job in marketing now. But she's also got this mean streak when she's pissed off, especially when she's had a few drinks. She's not a monster or anything, but she can get snappy and say stuff that cuts deep. Ethan, on the other hand, is the quiet one. He's in his last year of college, studying computer science, and he's kind of nerd in the best way, loves video games, D&D, that sort of thing. But he's also super shy and has always struggled with confidence, especially around dating. He's a good-looking kid, but he's awkward and doesn't really put himself out there. Mia's more laid back, kind of the peacemaker, but she wasn't super involved in this mess, so I won't dwell on her. Anyway, the dinner was going fine at first. My mom made her famous lasagna, there was wine flowing, and everyone was catching up. But as the night went on, things got a little tense between Claire and Ethan. It started over something stupid. Honestly, I can barely remember how it kicked off. I think they were arguing about politics or some news story that came up. Claire's super opinionated and loves to debate, while Ethan's more reserved, but will dig in if he feels strongly about something. Usually, their arguments are harmless, but this time, Claire seemed extra irritated. Maybe it was the wine, maybe she'd had a rough week at work, I don't know. But she was getting louder and more aggressive, cutting Ethan off every time he tried to make a point. The rest of us were starting to notice. My dad gave me that, "Here we go again, look," and Sarah squeezed my hand under the table like, "Yikes, this is awkward." My cousins were whispering to each other, and my Aunt Karen was doing that thing where she pretends to be super interested in her salad to avoid the drama. Ethan was holding his own, but you could tell he was getting flustered. He's not great at confrontation, and Claire was steamrolling him. I was about to step in and change the subject when Claire dropped a bomb. Out of nowhere, she snaps, "Shut up. Ethan, I'm not going to argue with a 22-year-old virgin." The table went silent. Like, you could hear the ice clinking in someone's glass across the room. Ethan's face turned bright red, and he just stared at his plate. My mom gasped, my dad muttered something under his breath, and Ryan looked like he didn't know where to put his eyes. It was brutal. Ethan hadn't said anything personal or mean during their argument. She just went for the jugular, completely unprovoked. For context, yeah, Ethan's a virgin. It's not like he's made a big announcement about it, but we're a close family, and it's something we've kind of pieced together over time. He's never had a serious girlfriend, and he's shy about that stuff. It's not a big deal to anyone, except, apparently, Claire when she's mad. I know she was probably drunk and frustrated, but it was such a low blow. Ethan's been struggling with his confidence for years, and he's been trying to put himself out there more, like going on a few Tinder dates that didn't pan out. He doesn't need his older sister humiliating him in front of the entire family. I was pissed, like really pissed. I looked at Ethan, and he was just frozen, clearly mortified. I couldn't let it slide. So I said, "Claire, grow up. You're making an embarrassment of yourself." My voice was sharp, and I didn't care if everyone heard me. She rolled her eyes and doubled down, saying, "Oh, come on. Everyone knows he's a virgin. It's not a big deal." That made me even angrier because it was so dismissive, like she didn't care how much she'd just hurt him. Now, here's where I might have messed up. I was so mad at her for bullying Ethan that I wanted to give her a taste of her own medicine. So I said, "Yeah, well, everyone knows you slept with well over 100 guys in college, so I guess it's not a big deal either, right?" I didn't yell it or anything, but I said it loud enough for the table to hear. I wasn't trying to slut-shame her or anything. I was just trying to point out her hypocrisy. Like, if she thinks it's fine to air someone's personal business, then why should hers be off limits? The room went quiet again, but this time it was a different kind of quiet. Ryan, Claire's husband, looked like he'd been slapped. He put his fork down, stood up, and said, "You told me it was only a few guys." Then he grabbed his jacket and stormed out. Claire's face went from smug to panicked in about 2 seconds. She yelled after him, "Ryan, wait," but he was already out the door. My mom started freaking out, telling me I shouldn't have said that, and my dad was just shaking his head like he couldn't believe how fast things had spiraled. Ethan slipped out of the room at some point. I think he just needed to get away from everyone. Here's the thing. I genuinely thought Ryan knew. Claire's college years were wild. She partied a lot, hooked up a lot, and was super open about it at the time. She'd tell stories at family gatherings, not in a gross way, just casual oversharing, and it was kind of an open secret in the family. I figured she'd told Ryan at some point, especially since they've been together for like 5 years and married for 2. I wasn't trying to ruin her marriage. I was just trying to shut her up and make her see how shitty it was to embarrass Ethan like that. The rest of the dinner was a disaster. Claire was crying, my mom was trying to comfort her, and my aunts and uncles were giving me dirty looks. My cousins were split. Some thought Claire deserved it. Others thought I went too far. Mia and Jake just stayed out of it, which I don't blame them for. Sarah whispered to me that I probably shouldn't have said that in front of everyone, but she also said Claire was out of line first. I felt bad about how it all went down, but I was still so mad at Claire that I didn't apologize. I just grabbed my stuff, told Sarah we were leaving, and we headed out. The fallout has been intense. Claire's been texting me nonstop, calling me a jerk for ruining her marriage. Apparently, Ryan's staying at a friend's place and isn't talking to her right now. She says I humiliated her and betrayed her trust by bringing up her past. My mom called me the next day and said I should have handled it privately instead of airing dirty laundry in front of the family. My dad's staying neutral, but he did say I escalated things unnecessarily. Ethan texted me to say thanks for sticking up for him, but he also feels guilty because he thinks he caused a whole fight by arguing with Claire in the first place. I don't think I'm the jerk here. Claire started this by bullying Ethan in front of everyone. All I did was call some text exchanges or side details to keep things grounded and realistic. For example, Claire's reaction to Ryan storming out feels real. She'd be upset and embarrassed, trying to chase after him. Ethan slipping away quietly also fits his shy personality. These little moments make the story feel like a messy family fight, not a scripted drama. The post should subtly guide readers to feel like the OP was justified, but maybe went a bit too far, letting them debate whether it's ESH, everyone sucks here, or YTA, you're the jerk. Claire's behavior is painted as mean-spirited and unprovoked, but the OP's response is shown as impulsive and maybe unnecessarily public, with real consequences, Ryan leaving. The tension builds naturally through the argument, the alcohol-fueled escalation, and the awkward family dynamics, with tangents about past family dinners and sibling relationships to flesh out the context. By the time you're done, the post should feel like a classic AITA rage bait post, messy, emotional, and divisive, with readers ready to argue over who's the bigger jerk. Keep it focused on the core conflict. Don't add random subplots like secret affairs or unrelated betrayals. If you're including text exchanges, keep them short and realistic, like Claire's angry messages or Ethan's quiet thanks. The goal is to make it feel like a real Reddit post, not a novel. Okay, I'm way over the word count now, so I'll wrap this up. Reddit? AITA? I was just trying to defend my brother and call out Claire's hypocrisy, but now her marriage is a mess, and half the family thinks I'm the bad guy. I feel bad about how it went down, but I don't think I was wrong to stand up for Ethan. What do you think? Esh, White EA, NTA. I'm ready for the verdict.